The UK hospitality sector is worth nearly $50 billion a year, and before coronavirus employed 3.2 million people. As the industry gears up for a new beginning post-lockdown, social distancing is not the only issue it has to cope with. Restrictions mean the capacity at this microbrewery in West London has fallen from 35 to just 10. But it's the requirement to somehow keep the names and details of every single customer for 21 days which has led the owner to actually postpone reopening.
We haven't had a booking system before. It's something completely new we have to look into, which is why I think I'm gingerly waiting for a little bit more guidance on how to keep that data and what they want us to do with that data before I go, right, let's invest in software, let's start ploughing in the hours on trying to work out how this is going to actually work logistically.
Some restaurants and pubs have already commenced with limited reopening, offering food and drink on a takeaway basis. But the ability to cope with the new rules from July 4th varies widely, from the big pubcos with their existing sophisticated digital infrastructure down to the smaller independents which are struggling simply to open their doors. The UK government says it will issue detailed guidance soon. But with just a week left until July 4th, privacy campaigners say a piecemeal approach and ambiguous instructions puts too much responsibility on pub and restaurant owners and exposes individual customers to a serious risk of data breaches.
The idea that pubs can put this system into place in a secure manner so rapidly does seem highly questionable. The only way to ensure the data is safe is for the data to be stored with encryption at rest and with encryption in transit. And that's another area in which, so far, the government has failed to provide any clarity in terms of actual execution.
In Europe, data storage and processing is governed by a rule called GDPR, which carries a maximum penalty of $21 million, or 4% of global turnover. That's an existential threat for smaller businesses, and the industry body UK Hospitality wants government to issue clear instructions to the enforcement bodies.
To make clear that all of the guidance around safer workplaces, safer reopening, COVID secure reopening, of which this track and trace suggestion forms a part, is not mandatory, and therefore that they should not be imposing regulatory burdens on businesses over and above what is required by the law to get them reopening on the 4th of July.
The industry believes that the COVID data collection rules are just a transition measure until the government's test and trace system achieves widespread coverage and effectiveness. But how quickly that can be achieved is an open question. Brennan, Al Jazeera, West London.